I met the perfect woman at the park and let her walk away. It's strange how an ordinary afternoon can turn into something unforgettable. Even stranger, how a single moment of absent-mindedness, a blink in time, can haunt you for weeks, maybe even longer. I didn't expect anything special that day. I just wanted some quiet, maybe a walk, a bit of sunlight, fresh air to clear my head. What I got instead was a conversation that felt like it was meant to happen, like someone had written it out ahead of time. I met her by accident, the way all the best things in life seem to show up, unscheduled, uninvited, and absolutely perfect. She wasn't just stunning, though she was, to the point where I did a double take when I first saw her. No, it wasn't just that. It was her presence, her energy, that rare mix of calm and curiosity. Talking to her felt like I'd stumbled into one of those conversations you only get once or twice in a lifetime. The kind where you're not just talking, you're actually connecting. We wandered, we laughed, we talked about everything. Music, art, food, heartbreak, healing. There were so many chances to turn that moment into something lasting. She even asked for my number, my Instagram, my email, and I gave them. But somehow I never asked for hers. What follows is the memory of that day, the best conversation I've had in years, and the slow, painful realization that I may have let something extraordinary slip through my fingers. It started, like many good things do, in the most ordinary way. I was on a walk through the park, the kind of place that smells like damp pine and sunscreen, where kids laugh in the background and dogs sprint across fields like they're chasing freedom itself. I didn't have a plan, no headphones, no destination, just space to breathe. And then I saw her. She was standing by the water, watching the ducks, holding a thermos like it was keeping secrets warm. We made eye contact, just briefly, but it was enough. You know when someone looks at you and you really see them? That. I smiled. She smiled back. And somehow, I don't even remember the first sentence, we started talking. At first, it was casual. Weather, ducks, that weird guy trying to feed squirrels trail mix. Then food came up. We both loved to cook. Then music. Then language. Then culture. Then God. It was like skipping stones across a lake. One topic leading effortlessly to the next, every bounce deeper than the last. She'd only been in town for a week. A transplant. Fresh start. You could tell she carried a mix of curiosity and fatigue, like she'd been through something but had chosen hope anyway. She told me she was originally from abroad, had only been in the States for a few years. We talked about how moving changes you, how leaving something behind isn't always the same as escaping it. And then, somehow we landed on heartbreak. She'd been cheated on, so had I. And instead of that shutting the mood down, it opened a door. We weren't swapping trauma. We were relating, finding meaning in what broke us, laughing even, because somehow it had all made us better, more honest, more awake. At one point, she asked for my number, and here's where I started messing up. My phone's fried, I said. I dropped it in the creek last week while kayaking. Total loss. She laughed, understanding. Instagram? Sure, I said. I gave her mine. She followed me on the spot. Her profile pic was of her laughing. Real laughter, like someone had just caught her mid-joke. That same brightness was in her eyes right now. But I didn't ask for hers. Why didn't I ask? I didn't even think to. I was just in it, totally absorbed, not planning ahead, not strategizing, just present. It was stupid, but it felt kind of pure too. We kept walking, talked about music. I asked her if she'd ever gotten chills from a song. She said yes, and I smiled like an idiot because I knew then that she got it. The real kind of music person, someone who feels it. She said she liked to sing, but thought she wasn't very good. I told her she had a nice voice, that I wanted to hear her sing. Next time we hang out, she said, I'll sing for you. Next time. She said that a lot. So did I. I told her about a local market I loved. She said she wanted to check it out. We ended up hiking a bit. Not a serious trek, just enough to feel the dirt under our shoes and pretend like we had nowhere else to be. It got cold. I let her wear my jacket. At one point, a stray dog barked at us, and I instinctively stepped between them. She laughed and said I was brave. I said I just didn't want her to get rabies. She laughed again. That laugh. I'll remember that laugh. We looped back toward her starting point. The sun was dipping, casting gold over the park's trees and trails. We slowed our steps, like we didn't want the moment to end. Or maybe that was just me. Before we parted ways, she turned to me. Hey, she said, do you have an email? I blinked. Yeah, I gave it to her. And still, I didn't ask for hers. The moment she walked away, I felt it, this sinking sensation, like I'd forgotten something crucial, like leaving your passport in a hotel drawer after you've already checked out and hailed the taxi to the airport. I patted my pockets, keys, wallet, jacket. No phone, of course. No number, no name written down. Nothing from her but a scent left on the collar of my jacket, floral and light and painfully human. I froze. The weight of my own obliviousness slammed into me like a wave. She had asked, more than once. She wanted me to stay in touch, and I was too caught up in the now to consider the later. I should have asked, even if I had to scribble her info on a napkin, or my arm, or the back of a receipt. Why didn't I? Was it nerves? Naivety? A part of me that didn't want to jinx it by naming it? Because if I'm honest, it felt like magic, and maybe a part of me thought magic couldn't disappear. But it did. She walked away, slowly, glancing back once. I waved, she waved back, and then she was gone. That night, I sat in my room and stared at my screen, refreshing Instagram, checking my email, hoping she'd message. She didn't. A week passed, then 2, then 4. Every day I checked. Nothing. I walked the park more often than I should have, hoping to bump into her again. I even carried a pen and notebook with me, like a fool who learned his lesson too late. No luck. I didn't even know her last name. I replayed our conversation in my head like a favorite song. Her laugh. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was thinking. The way her eyes softened when she talked about her hometown. The jacket I let her wear still hung on the back of my chair, her scent slowly fading. I tried to move on. I went on dates, swiped, matched, messaged, but none of them were her. None of them had that spark, that immediate connection where every topic felt like a thread being woven into something bigger. A real conversation, a real moment. And maybe the beginning of something that could have been real. It's been a month. And yeah, I don't think she's reaching out. Part of me still hopes. A tiny voice in the back of my mind that says, maybe she's just busy. Maybe she forgot my Instagram handle. Maybe she lost the paper with my email. Maybe she's shy or cautious or simply waiting. But the louder part of me knows I blew it. It wasn't just about the contact info. It was about being present, yes, but also about being aware, about noticing when someone's giving you a chance and honoring that with intentionality. She gave me that chance, more than once, and I missed it. Now all I have is the memory of one of the best conversations I've ever had. A beautiful hour with a stranger who didn't feel like one. An hour that lives like a postcard in my mind. Bright, lovely, and just slightly out of reach. But maybe that's okay. Maybe some people aren't meant to stay. Maybe they show up to remind us what connection feels like, what curiosity sounds like, what a voice laughing at your joke feels like when it lands just right. She reminded me that good people exist. She reminded me that conversations, real, vulnerable, open ones, are still possible. She reminded me that I'm not numb, that I still want this, that I still believe in next time. If I ever see her again, I'll ask for her name, her number, her everything. If not, then I'll hold on to that day, not as a regret, but as a gift. A missed opportunity, sure, but also a beautiful memory and a lesson I won't forget again. Do you like stories like this? Click here to watch more.